Collective channeled message. Please only take what resonates. Leave the rest for the best. No bother stress. I can't even tell you where we are. I can't even tell you if we're in Exodus, Isaiah, or which one. But I'm not too sure. It might even be in Deuteronomy. But the message is getting delivered. Before I deliver this message, yesterday I was doing a card reading and someone stopped me. So I ended up having to be busy. And I didn't end up even posting it. But there was a few cards left. So from the few cards that I left, I'm going to read this and I'm going to follow through to the message. So please only take what resonates. Leave the rest for the best. If it's not for you, it might be for your boo. If it's not for your boo, it could be for your brethren too. If it triggers you, if it makes you feel any emotions, because take it as it resonates, you may need to do some healing work. You may need to do some inner work. You may need to gain and look at yourself and identify how you're feeling like the way you're feeling, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, what's triggering you, what's affecting your emotion, why is it affecting your emotion, to enable you to either understand your thoughts, your feelings, instead of projecting it out onto other people, because it's energy and it's energy emotion. So remember, you walk through the valley of death card. So that's a death card, so you could be going through these deaths for a renewal, gaining better in wisdom, understanding, to overstand certain situations, people and things. And S could be significant for you. 999 for these new beginnings. So you're having this death, this 1, 2, 3 transformations for your new beginning, for your new letting go, releasing any bad negative energy, people, places and things that's not serving your highest God, that's not enabling you, supporting you, assisting you, hiring your vibration or your levels, because you've got that soul connection. It's a connection to the soul and it's new horizons. So you just need to trust the process, the secret. So you may need to read the secret. If you've not got the secret, then you've not got that knowledge. You'll get that understanding to be able to overstand. It's all about yourself. It's about it's about energy, emotion. It's about law of attraction. What are you attracting? What are you putting out? Don't allow your ego to take over you. Don't bow down to them. So you're not allowing your ego to take over you, and you're not bowing down to other people, places, situations and things. You're moving on your life's past journey, because position of the hill, spiritual victory. You're just overcoming these challenges and fulfilling the Most High's promise. It's yours. It's within inside of you. It's inside of me. It's just moving and doing the rightful things for yourself, gaining that right balance. Speaking my story, releasing pressure. So you could be just speaking your story, speaking about how these people, the situations that you went through your life, enabled you to become the individual that you are today, to experience, to see. That's why you gain that first-hand experience, enables you to be able to keep continuously moving forward, continue seeing things from different perspectives, identifying who people really are on your path. What are they in their place for? Are they enabling you, or are they dismantling you? Are they supporting you, or are they just neglecting you? So you just have to identify what is their purpose, what are you there for. This could be families, friends, divine partners, but then they're not so divine, so you have to identify who they are, because the Most High is going to make them come and worship before your feet. So they're going to come. The Most High is preparing a table in front of your enemies. You're gaining your new beginnings. You're gaining your understanding. They're going to want to worship before your feet and know the Most High loves you. Revelations 3 verse 9. So they're going to identify, they're going to recognize that you are that true divine feminine masculine. You was that true family member friend. You was that true cousin. Take it all as it resonates, sister, brother. And these people tried to dismantle you. You had to put that death in place. You had to end certain situations because they was doing things that you couldn't see, because they tried to humiliate you. So they was trying to humiliate you. Let me light this and hush. So you just lit your and hushed. Best thing. Silence is the best treatment. Call on the Most High. Pray to Him. He will listen to you. Find Him. Seek Him. When you seek, with all your heart, He will be found within inside of you. So you just called on to the Most High. You found Him. You seeked Him. You called on Him, and He guided you with all of His heart to protect you on this life's past journey, because people will be speaking, dismantling, using, abusing, taking advantage of your own good free will. Let's get one card to start off with, Spirit, see what we've got. Oh, it's not one, there's loads, so we'll take this on top. It says astral travel. People could be astral traveling, or caution is needed. So people could be trying to astral project things towards you, trying to dismantle you. They're doing it strongly. They're doing it with intentions. They're trying to mess about with your sacred divinity, because there's two paths ahead and they didn't realize it's either forwards or staying backwards. They tried to stop you back, but you opened your intuitions because you had clarification. You was able to seek that, and you just looked at the energy signatures. The past is the present. So you looked at these past people, who they were in your present life, what they're there for, because you are an ascended master. So you just ascended past these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends. Right, these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends, be feeling a lack of fulfillment right now. They're feeling that all within their lives, in their settings and in their surroundings, their current situation, whether it's their work life, their relationships, or even just their personal lifestyles. They're feeling this, they're feeling a sense of not belonging, so they're no longer feeling like they're belonging. They can feel the loss of you, they can feel that it's divine impact, and it's a familiar surrounding that they're feeling. That's ability to be able to settle, so they're not able to settle down. And that's finding a separation, so they feel that separation in their present activities that they've been doing. They've been persistent and yearning for something, and that's undefined, it's not clear. Meanwhile, you're just searching for something that's more fulfilling, more understanding, so you can understand it. And they're feeling that anxiety now. They're feeling depression. They could even have signs of ADHD. Only take what resonates, leave the rest for the best. No bother stress. That's just manifested within inside of them. They're feeling restless, and that's leading them to be able to obtain high levels of stress. So they could be getting high levels of stress. Now they're feeling anxiety, hurt and pain, which could lead to agitation and a sense of unease within inside their body. They're feeling frustration, and it's functions within their hormones. This is affecting all of their hormones, and it's sensitive, and it's causing them to be restless. So these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends, they want to be able to take what resonates. So they need to be able to practice meditation. They need to be able to be mindful. They need to look at the way that they're thinking, the way they're speaking, the energy they're putting out, the words that they will be using, because it's mind management and it's restlessness. And these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends, they need to be able to call, to be able to reflect. They may need to journal on their past life and look at the things, what they've been doing. And that's going to enable them to be able to explore their own thoughts, their feelings, how they're feeling, why they acted the way that they acted, why they feel the way that they're feeling. I'd said this at the beginning. Why you do the things that you're doing. And it's got to be meaningful activities. And it's just that purpose that you need, because it's the hobbies within inside of yourself to connect to yourself, to identify yourself, to realise who you are, what you're like, to be able to grow and achieve and evolve, to not stay stagnant. Because it's joy. You've got to be them joyful activities that's going to help your day to day. And you may need to spend a little time in nature. So they need to spend time in nature. You may need to spend time in nature to reflect, to refine, to restore, to give back. So when you stand on that grass, you're releasing all that bad toxic energy. Put yourself on the tree and just touch the tree and just say, tree, release the energy, anything you got for me, refine it, restore it, to refine and restore yourself. Because these family members, as well as friends, could be seeking support. They could need this support. They could need to be able to talk to a therapist or a counsellor, or even to speak to family and friends. And they may need to be able to provide them with some sort of guidance and support to be able to navigate their feelings of what they're feeling and what's telling them and how it's making them feel at that specific moment in time. Because they're navigating restlessness, and they need to be connected to spirituality and their divine, and that's exploring different spiritual practices and engaging in with their truth and trusting in providing with a sense of a purpose to be gaining and moving forward, to be able to ground yourself, your mind, your body, as well as your soul. And these divine feminines, masculines, could be experiencing visual, auditory illusions. So they're bringing things within illusions that's defying their normal perceptions of the way how the reality is really shaped, or what's really happening, the way how they're seeing and experience certain things. And they're sharing stories of unusual occurrences that's challenging their understandings of reality. It's like a time glitch in the matrix. It's that physical, the psychological factors like attention lapses and memory quirks, or practical processing errors of their brain, and it's sometimes kind of playing tricks on them. So it's misleading them, and it's manipulating their thoughts and the way they're feeling, the way they're acting, because it's that glitch, what's took place in the matrix. And it's when reality seems to be able to bend or break, and it's prompting these divine feminines and masculines to question their nature of existence, or your nature of existence, or why they're there, or what the people are, or what and what. And these people, places and things, and the things that surround them, it's like that final destination moment, that ultimate purpose at the end of something, where gods are intended to be delivered to you, regardless of the intermediate stars or the things what keep on reoccurring. It's a way for you to get that inner standing, to overstand, because you held at these captivity, and you're alluring them, because you're alluring, you've got certain alluring qualities, and it's your actions and your physical ambitions and the way that you move, your personality, your style, your manner, the stubble, your nature, the way how you move. And it's often delicated, and it's destructions for these, because they're feeling this, and it's all within inside of them. So they're getting that variations of you expressing yourself, or the feelings, the way how you feel and the way how you act and react. And it's not intimidating or abusive, like you're burning fire, and it's like fire details. You speak with its significance, and you'll be able to alter the impacts and the observations, how you speak and the way you speak and how things are speaking and the way how people are saying what you're saying. I got to, oh, this looks hot like shit. And the impact of our observations. And these divine feminines, masculines, as well as friends, they're feeling that they need that deeper inner standing to overstand of that complete complex situations that they be putting out, the people and the things that they be seeing. The subtle shades of meaning or feelings are not always obvious to these divine feminines and masculines, so it takes them a longer time to kind of get that inner standing to overstand. It's like they're easily misled. And if you're not paying close attention to these, the way they state things, and it's like a lack of necessary context or experiences that they've had, or it can be a directly change of interpretation of a sentence, or even a gesture, or even a situation. So they're not unable to recognize these things and understand the nuisance and its clear, effective communication that you're dealing with. And this could be in writing or nuisance, and it can be altered, and it can be found in words and the choices or the actions that they're making, the tone of voice, even like the way how they speak. Like, I've said this in a reading quite a lot of times before. I'm a girl with a deep voice, so I've got my masculine and feminine energies. I know how to balance that. I can't be like that Kardashian bitch, you know what I mean? You lot, like, so like, you know, like the way that we write and the choices that we make, and like our emotions and the physical things that we do in life, and yeah, it's the way that we convey the things. So the tone of the voice, your facial expressions, and the way how you do things, in your body language, and it's like, oh, but I didn't know, I didn't even realise, or oh, I've really thought. Well, you know what, you didn't know when your thoughts took you, because if you ask the right questions, you're doing right. So you know subtly, and you can imply something, and it's like barely there, or it heard, or it's detached, while it's nuisance, and it's impacting the greater level of the way how the detail is, or it's the complexity of the destructions, or the point, guaranteed or guarded. And it comes in different contrasts and contexts, and it's between similar things or places. And it's your excellence that sets them apart from them. So it's the way how you speak, the way how you understand things, the way how you explain things, and your understanding and the way how you perceive certain things. And they maybe not see it the way how you do it, so they treating you separate or different, and it's drawing you out, or it's drawing someone else out, or drawing somebody else in, and you don't even focus on the physical appearances, the hair, the way how people walk, the manner, the way how they sing, dance, act, you know, the talking, their whole vibe. It's the way overall vibe, that overall thing, what we put off, what we're putting out there, because we're energy, emotion. So how you're acting, are you caring, are you unique, are you just doing stuff through your predictabilities, or is it predictable traits that you got that you're going to deal with? And these divine feminines and masculines, family members, friends, their overall vibe or their overall energy, what they're giving off, because we're energy, emotion. And you're just positive, you're caring, you're supporting, and you're assisting, you're unique. You've got unique personality traits. You're not the same as everybody else. You're different. You've just got that positive, caring energy. You're alluring to these divine feminines and masculines, as well as friends. The way you express, it's a sense of desire. It's fascination. They're fascinated with you. And because you uphold power, but due to the fact that you uphold power, and you've got the connection to those hidden raylines they didn't know, you've got unique qualities, and that's greatly interested in you. They're very delighted by you, like obsessions, and its interests, and its complexities, and its enthusiasm. You're very appealing, you're charming, you've got that unique attraction of power, and it's that personal charm that you hold within inside of you, because you create consciousness, awareness. and they didn't realize that that's doing it right within inside of you, because that's delight and charm, and that's spellbinding. They're enchanted, they're bewitched by you, because they can see you've got those hidden qualities. They can see your balance. They can see that you're on your own divine connection with the divine, and you hold that complete attention of these divine feminines, masculines, as well as friends, as though by magic you're just holding them like they're spellbound, and they're rapt attention as if they're casting spells towards you, because they feel that in a great way. They're feeling great delight and charm, like they're under a spell to influence by charms and magic. They're casting spells over you with words of influence to be able to attract, as if they're by magic, or admiration for you, of respect and warmth, or they're speaking in a bad way of neglecting and hurting and pain, and they regarded you as impressive and worthy really, but they don't really actually want to tell you that, because it's too good to say, oh, I think the way that you do that, oh no, they're going to have to bitter you down, because when you're arguing or you're upset with somebody, they don't tell you, oh, I love the way your eyes are just so bright and they're shining, the light and they look orange and they look rare. No, they don't. They want to tell you the badful things, because your advice and your hope to just keep on moving forward, because you was like a sister or a brother to them. You was supporting, assisting and enabling and giving them that correct advice, help and support, which makes you special and desirable, and they couldn't hold that. And they even told and focus on small, little, seemingly insufficient details about you to make it like captivating. And you know the importance of the genuine rituals, that's faith and obedience over empty words and thoughts and feelings. And that's rituals of reactions and the actual applications or the idea of the beliefs of their belies, or the method as opposed to the theories, as well as the sustained explanations of something or the aspects of the natural nature. And it's based on a body of facial, not facts, that have been like repeatedly confirmed through their observations and their experiments, and it's systematic and it's rational firm. So they was doing these kind of rituals and it was thinking, and you was able to support yourself by evidence, and you was just lacking specific moments, and you just thought, how did that work? And you looked at the situations, and they was kind of making you have to guess and be speculating the words and the things that they doing, because it didn't have significance, or it wasn't supporting evidence as to what they was actually stating. It was just all he said, she said, and you said, and they said, and when, and not where's, and not how's, and not who's, and not what's, and not when's. A good theory is based on facts. So you know a good theory, when someone's coming to tell you something, you want the facts. You want the where's, the when's, the how's, the what's. And it's based on, got to be based on facts. And you're able to make that prediction, like you can see the future events, what's going to happen. And you're just testing these divine feminines and masculines, family members, as well as friends. And their falsehoods and their falsifiable states of minds, and the way that they put things in the corrupted ways, and you were just proving them wrong through the observations. And you was just discovering, and you were discovering and testing them, and you was discovering the tests that they was putting towards you, or the demonstrations and the known facts, to be able to determine these divine feminines, masculines, family members' actions. So you knew what they would have done. You can just see their falsehoods and the statements and the images, and the find evidence to be able to put towards it. And that contradicts those divine feminines, masculines, family members, friends' actions and their theories, that just kind of modified or replace a new fact or image, or how the event happened and the falsehoods, and into a different fact of what really happened. In these divine feminines and masculines, family members or friends, them just a lie. Them big damn liar with their empty rituals. They was doing empty rituals on emotional challenges to resolve the issue. So they was trying to do it on an emotional thing towards you, to make them to be able to gain certain things, to put you in your emotional state, to put you in your mind, to put you in your thoughts, to put you in your feelings. Now they're in their mind, they're in their thoughts and their feelings, because you just seen their statements, and you managed and you found the evidence, and you just see the things that contradicted them, because they're rituals that they ignited, and it was habits, and it was losing their original purpose as to why they did it, because it was outward performances what they kept on doing, and it was a ritual. They was just fulfilling hypocrisy. And they appeared to be divine. They thought they was a celestial being like you. They thought that you was had that hidden railings, when they had the hidden railings to do bad things. They was working with dark forces. You was that one who's at the high top, and they're the one at the bottom. They was working with those dark forces. They had serpent energies, and they had other people, and they was trying to do it for strength, because they had a line at there. So they was trying to do it to be able to gain strength over you, because you got that higher part. You got your left and your right side hemispheres. You're socially constructed. They're socially constructed. You're socially connected, but they're constructed to be able to do bad things, They're serpent energies. They wanted people to worship to them. They set people out there to be able to do things and speak things on behalf of them towards you. They didn't realize, but they was actually lacking genuine faith, that trust and that confidence within inside of you. They didn't realize who you actually were. And that was trust and confidence within inside of their soul, because they had false doctrines. And that was firm acceptance. These divine feminines and masculines, they're especially without proof. They don't even know what to do now. And you just holded your trust and your faith and the confidence in yourself, in the divine. You've got your own commitment to yourself. They didn't have genuine divination or inner standing about the words when you're using certain words, when you're acting. They acted without corresponding to be able to change in their behaviour, their ways. They seen it as meaningless. It was meaningless in their eyes. And it was really a call for that true divine connection. You had to repentance to be able to commit for righteousness, to say, you know what, I was wrong. Yeah, I did do that, and when I did it, I thought, look, the thoughts, I thought. So you can't even say you thought. That's how you was feeling. So that's why you acted. Because these divine feminines, masculine family members, as well as friends, they were just stimulatiously engaged in unjust, unethical practices and opposing and experiencing persistent negative influences or control. So they wanted control, because that was by a demonic force within inside of them. And that was hindering their spiritual growth. And that was a freedom that distincted them from the possessions. They was moving like a demon in their body, and it was oppressing that external part. And they've got to look at these things, because they're looking and they've got to demonstrate the things from oppression to the external, and that's originating outside of them. And they was manifesting in ways of academic expectations and social pressures, offering your values or behaviour or your truths. And it's manifesting in forms of conformity and compliance with standards and rules or laws, and aligning their attitudes, their thoughts, their feelings and their belies and their behaviour with yours. And that was around them, because they was moving in their unconsciousness. They was getting influenced to change their ways and their perceptions and their opinions and their behaviours and their groups and the norms and the behaviours of these groups and the norms and these divine feminines and masculines. And they was looking at them like intact. They was looking at the communication and the decisions and influencing them in their everyday lives, and the etiquette and the conflict and the conflicting resolutions. And you just deal with collective understanding. They didn't understand. They just understood, because they was just on that low vibrational energy. So holding the ice pole, I can't suck up the ice pole when I'm online. They lacked stability. They lacked comfortability. Now they've got to get uncomfortable to try and get back comfortable, because they didn't understand. They didn't accept what's next. And you was just like that positive framework to be able to collaborate, communicate effectively, find a positive level, find that positive resolution, to reflect on what most people do and respectfully communicate, listening, understanding, constructive feedback. You was ready to be able to give that, and then clear communication to be able to come back to give to you. You knew you was able to accept and take help to be able to prevent any conflicts or any misunderstandings, to be able to help prevent falsehoods. You was able to felicitate. You worked and you collaborated alongside people, and you're not following or being forced to do anything that's against your own will. You don't copy other people's actions or the way our people think. You understand, you empathize. So empathy and sympathy is two different things. When you sympathize, it's like, yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah, all right, and cool, yeah, don't worry about it. When you empathize, it's like, I understand what you're saying. I don't feel the way that you're feeling, but I can embody that energy. So if you're feeling that feeling, you're not wrong to feel that feeling. But you need to address that person in regards to the way that you're feeling. You need to be able to express yourself, because maybe the way that you're moving or the things that you're saying, you're not moving in that rightful way, because you've got demands and expectations, or they're stresses for even more. They could be even like family, and they could be impacting relationships and the dynamics, and this could be increasing in their anxiety and their stress and depression, and it's decreasing in their self-esteem. And they've been doing risk-taking behaviour, dishonesty, and it strains on relationships, and that's due to stress and conflict within their mind. And you just had to learn how to say no. You just thought, no, I'm not done with that, the bumble fire shit, me gone. I'm just relaxing, I'm just, let me burn my sage, because the sage has been burning for ages, and the sage is still burning. That's how much bad energy people have got. The sage has just been riding. They're projecting all of this, and this sage has been burning for 24 minutes, so that's how you know. They're causing all this stress and anxiety to try to bring it your way. Speaking to family and friends, and act like they're a therapist, and they was going on like they was doing the right, and you don't have unrealistic expectations the way that they do, their thoughts, and they was just trying to shed innocent blood and worshipping idols. They was worshipping other people. They tried to shed innocent blood on you. They tried to speak bad. And it's more than just going through those motions. You need to have that sincere, positive change within your heart. They need to have that commitment now. They need to have look at the divine rules in place, and they love to live accordingly, justly. They need to have compassion and fulfillment, and it's in all aspects of their life and their will, because they tried to mock you with empty rituals, and that was energy signatures. They didn't realize that you had that positive energy signature. They tried to mess up your energy signature. They tried to dismantle you with their words from judgment, and you was just essentially telling them their actions spoke louder than their words, their energy signature, their temple attendance, the divine plan. We all must become temples where our lives live, our mind, thoughts and feelings are that sacred dwelling place. So they didn't realize they was doing all this from a bad thing. They didn't get connected. They was trying to put emotional challenges your way. They tried to do things from hidden railings, speaking these words from judgment, and that's just essentially telling them, you was telling them about their actions. Their actions spoke louder than their words. And that temple of attendance, they didn't look at the divine plan. That's that sacred dwelling place. They didn't practice all of those areas of their life. They didn't look at I am, how I'm feeling, what you're thinking, my love that I'm putting out there, the things that how I'm acting and what I'm attracting. I'm growing. My optimisms, if I'm expanding, the information that you're receiving, to be able to achieve and honor the wisdom in the people, the places and things, and evolve and make those progress to be able to have that awakening and dream and look at the illusions that people put into place. They need to be able to reform their ways. They need to be able to recall for repentance, that transformation, that true dwelling place within their mind. They need to look at their thoughts and their feelings. They've got to look at the religious practices, and they're not just even enough. It's not even just like genuine relationships. They need to look at the restrictions and the necessities of a change. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to turn away from sin. It's that comprehensive, and if you've got to have that generous change, you've got to look at your lifestyles, the patterns, your behaviour. You've got to look at the specific deeds, the choices that you're making, and it's true transformation within inside yourself. You've got to have that shift. It's that consciousness. It's got to be presented. You need that divine favour. And it's deception. It's turning away from sin and embracing that spiritual involvement for a more just ritual, awakened, aware, knowing, to do good, that call for a deep personal transformation for yourself, not for nobody else, and all them effects of all the aspects of your life, from your past, your present, your future, why you're the way that you are, why you're acting, including your relationships with yourself and others, and the lack of your genuine trust, what you've got for yourself in the spiritual depth that you're holding for yourself. And you'll be out there praying and wearing religious symbols, but you don't even know what they're wearing them for. And they need to be corresponding inwards for that inward transformation, to get that inner connection. So there's no point in wearing these bracelets and acting and doing like you're not doing it, because you're not putting the actions in motion. And you've got to look at the habits, and it's special pressure or desire to appear religious or spiritual or favor. You need to feel that within your heart. You need to get that full connection. You need to get that divine connection, because they're disconnected between their religious and their spiritual claims and their actual behavior, such as the way that they're advertising and putting things out, and the certain values in public, and the way that they may act. It contradicts their own values. These divine feminines need to be able to get this connection. Sorry, I was sucking up the ice pole, and now after I just done spoke, I need the ice pole again. So they need to be able to look. They're looking in profound actions of what they was doing, the way they acted, they regulated without even thinking. Meanwhile, you're just helping expressing your ideas. You're going through that transition. You're fostering a sense of community and that connection to the sacred divine. So you're helping, supporting and assisting, enabling other people, just like I am. We're speaking about what people have done to us, because people have made us feel these things. We've gone through certain situations and things to enable us to be able to get connected to the divine, to know better, to do better, by doing positive affirmations. We're cleansing our mind, body and soul from those negative energy, people, places and things. And we're just stepping and we're speaking love, light. We're connecting daily to the divine. We're expressing ourselves with that complete trust and helping ourselves strengthen the bonds to help create a sense of belonging for ourselves, with a genuine soul family, soul connection. Because we stand at that gate, because we have to be our own gatekeeper. And they don't like it. They don't like that you're keeping and gatekeeping your own sense of your stability. Because you got to speak and you got to do and you got to choose. Because you can speak and choose who you choose to speak to. Let's go back again. It's warm out here. Bare distractions, bare slowing. They're bringing bare heat towards you. But you know when to speak and when to give information. You know what to hold and what not to hold. And you know what to release and how to release it. You know when you're helping deliver a message or helping others to be able to hear it. To hear that call. To be able to get that inner standing, to overstand it. And that is that proclaim call that you're out loudly speaking publicly. You're publicly living, giving these divinations, devotions towards other people. You're not divinating, I didn't mean to say that. Devotion. You're devoted publicly. And these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends, did regular public declarations of speaking bad. They wanted authority. They didn't even want that private communication. They spoke bad about you in public, told everybody this, this and that, all these bad words. And the words that they used, you used divine words to be able to guide people to listen to and understand for their overstanding, to be able to know better, to do better. And your message is of change. And they need to be able to change their behaviour. They need to now be able to think before they're speaking, because these words, what they be saying, and they said this, but I didn't mean to say that. But when I said it, it was how I said it, and and it's saying what they said. And they're saying the words, and it's words. These words are spells, and it's contradictory of their actions or the things, what they're doing. So they'll be saying certain things, but their actions be doing other things. And these divine feminines, masculines, family members, as well as friends, take it all as it resonates. They need to guarantee that temple of their mind. They need to guarantee their thoughts, their safety. And they need to do it if it's their favour. Because they've been deceptive through their thoughts. Because their thoughts are deceiving them. Because they're giving them that appearance or that impressions of different things. What's true and what's not true. Because it's misleading them. It's dishonesty. It's betrayal. It's fraud. It's lying. It's trickery. It's untrue beliefs, belies. It's falsehood. And you're just judging them from their actions. Because it's hypocrisy. I can't get it out. Look, you're not laughing, Joe. They're just doing some bullshit, basically. They're claiming to have high standards, and they're full of shit. They're noble belies. They're just chatting bare shit because of their stubborn life. And they're just feeling it all, and it's all within inside of them, because it's how they feel, because they were just wolf in sheep's clothing, acting and acting like that was something that they're not, free, unbalanced. You just gain your wisdom, you gain your inner stand, you just clock in and watch them, how they move, because they was just clocking and watching you. And they was pretending to go through those virtues, to behave with their high moral standards, act like they was dealing and going on with something like they was traditionally fully woke. And they was on that 7th highest order, like you. You're on your 7th highest order there, they're low serpent energies at the bottom in their low energy state of mind. They're moving from them low 3 chakras. They're not moving within their heart. They had like childlike tendencies. And they don't look at the lessons what was learned from other people in places and situations that they've previously had or been through. And you just had to look at those to be able to grow. You identified those lessons. You looked at those people. You learnt from those people. All the way they communicated, the way they say what they say and how they say and what they say, and the angle what they're coming at, and the way how they're looking or acting, and the way how they're perceiving, or just a random act or action to their actions that was intended for their outcome. They need to be able to see their actions and repent sincerely and regret with great remorse. They need to be able to do it and attain to the divinely what's provided. It's new understanding of their own behaviour. So they need to look at that, and they need to see that. They need to identify it. And that's a complete compelled change to be able to begin a new relationship alongside you, if they want to be able to come and build and speak and come and talk back to you, because they see the dangers of the misleading things that they was doing. Why is this dropping in my hand? So they were just trying to make sure they was putting and projecting things your way to dismantle you, disable you, not enable you, assist you, or support you in the correct possible way. So now they was misplaced their trust, and they was doing it through religious rituals. And they need to be able to align themselves, their actions to their thoughts, to the feelings, according to the way that they're translating these things. They've got to have confidence in their conviction, in their formal declarations of what they're doing, or a verdict in the decision that you're making. So you could be making a judgment now, because that's the sacred divinity. There are 2 paths, so you could be making that judgment. That sacred divinity there, you've got to find that 2 path. They need to find that true 2 paths to where they need to go. My hand's watering. So it's so hot out here in the shed, I've got to get the ice pole. The ice pole's dripping down my hand. I'm still trying to deliver the message. Me gotta get backside hot, because it's that formal declaration. There's a verdict or a decision of a judge, like up in court. So you may need to take a decision. You may need to make a choice. because they could be even up in court having laws, and that could be even trying to say they're guilty of a criminal offence or a criminal act, or could be firmly holding their beliefs, their belies, or their opinions, their judgment, and it's finding you guilty. They're trying to find you guilty when they're guilty. Meanwhile, you're just identifying the state of their mind and the way how they believe and their belies and the things that they say to be true, and their practices and their applications used on their ideas and their belies, or the methods that they opposed. And that's related to the theories of the reality of the situation, the people, the places and things. They need to be well situated. They need to be able to explain this with good positive words. What, when, who, why, the body of facts repeatedly confirmed through the observations and the experiences. And it's not just guessing, or it's just not that I thought, or well, because of that, and oh shit, I got to it's got to be built on positive foundations, on foundations and observations and experiments, all framed by evidence. And it's got to be that framework, and that's got to be understanding, so other people can understand as a relationship between different facts or phenomenons, or the fact of a situation that was observed by you and Sarah seen it. But when Sarah came, Sarah didn't actually see that, what happened. But no, you did, no I didn't. So but you have to see who's causing and whose explanation, and who's questioned what, and why that was stated, or what that was stated for, and did you agree with that, and the remarkable effects, or what was remarkable. And you just be testing now through the thoughts and the future observations of what they was doing, because that went a long way. They moved and acted and reacted from their root chakra. And then I see how the interactions, the intentions behind the narratives, the black, the white, the grey area, what we was out there to gain, what was you gaining then? So what was the evidence? Now there's new evidence emerging. So now there's going to be even more evidence emerging, coming towards you, stating that this or that, here, where, why, what, when. People need to identify these things, and they're looking at all the ways to be able to come towards you, because they've got to calculate. There's calculated thoughts and the social structures, the way they behave in their ethical systems, and it's got to be looking at their principles and the guidance for even determining what was right or wrong, good or bad. And you're just looking at these things like these divine feminines, masculines, as well as friends. Be looking, and they're looking at the virtues and the ethical virtues and the moral principles of what was governed, of good, bad behavior, and how you conduct yourself and compose yourself. And these karmic energies, you uphold it, and you just branched off from them because you gained your knowledge. You knew better to do better. You wasn't a bitter bitch out here in these streets. You're not holding on to no past heartache, hurt and pain. You're letting go, and you're just dealing with the moral principles. And that's denatology, and that was the nature of the duty, of the obligations, and the distinguishing that's right from wrong, and the ethical actions. You don't lie. You don't need to. You don't need to steal. You look at the consequences and the reactions. You don't look at them false doctrines. And that was moral actions that you do, because it's moral maturity and that principle of concerning and distinguishing your excellence. That's what sets you apart from these divine feminines, masculines, as well as friends. They perceived you as being more than them. Remember, they've got a great affirmation for you. They perceived you to be more, because you are more. You're above them, which you're not above them, but you are above them within your knowledge, the way you act, the way how you feel. It was their egotism. They was involved in themselves. They was motivated by a goal and an action for themselves. And you just left them. A relationship, a friendship, no longer in their best interests. Because you just identified that. You just extinguished, and you established, and you set yourself free, because you're a free agent. You're determined, you develop, and you're moving on. You look at the way how they act and the way how they feel. You're looking at it because you got your own free will. You're not standing there taking no bullshit from nobody. Who do you think you are? So you continue, kept moving. You knew right from wrong. You wouldn't disrespect. You wouldn't be rude. But you wasn't taking no crap off nobody. Junior Beverly, we all watch Cool Runnings. We've got pride and we've got power. And we've a bad-ass mother. And we're not taking crap off on nobody. Right? So we hold it ourselves. We have to ground our character. We have to look at our traits. We have to marvel through those virtues and the foundations, and look at the ethical behavior of ourselves, because we know we've got to conduct ourselves. Whether we're just genuine, we're working, we're socially, we're looking at ourselves, the standards, the moral standards, the way our people perceive you, your principles, your honesty, your integrity, the kindness, the compassion. What job do you do? Where do you work? I work alongside the community. I work with kids. I'm a creative worker. I help and do creative well-being with young people. Come to Nottingham, my picture's on the wall outside Asda. There's a big picture of me. I'm not going to put myself and jeopardize my own skills, my abilities, just to dismantle somebody else's character or belittle them or do some wicked things. Like I seen a video of them beating up a young girl online. Why would you do those wicked things? What is going on within your mind? Why would you go out there with intent to go and fight and beat down somebody? This was 5 girls beating up one little young girl. I thought it was disgusting. So you identify those things. You look at positive examples for yourself as well as others. You don't act with impulse or instincts. You just get the courage to look at the compassion and you just identify, recognize, analyze. You're thoughtful. You have thoughtful considerations. I'm not saying we don't act. I'm not saying we don't react. But we're not going to do stuff if it's not for our own personal growth. And it's ongoing, and it's a matter of the age and the way how you act. You don't trust or deceptive words what people are coming at. You just identify. You think, oh my gosh. You just distinguish that. You look at the repulsiveness, the worthlessness, and the stinkers. You think, oh my gosh, they make out like they're rare. They would even think that you're a freak. They think you're a freak to be able to do that. And those who try to deceive and make their responses technical, like bringing worldly and bringing other things in, and they're not even understanding. They're not even trying to obtain that divine power. And they're trying to obtain power to like cause hurt and pain towards others. They need to be able to accept that true, valid, what is false, what is real, what's invalid. And it's a picture of deceptive. It's like a deceptive wind just going boom. And it's double dealing, it's trickery. And they're trying out, and it's not doing it through righteous things. And it's not coming from a sacred place and a sound mind. They're making it from like getting from deep down things. You're in that divine message. They're like the kitchen witch. They hold no spiritual purity. They don't hold no relationship to the divine. The way how you do. You're just connected. Remember, they're at that bottom. They're at that low dense energy. You're connected. You've got your left and your right hemispheres. You've got the divine light shining down on you. You've got your spiritual guides, your ancestors. You just connected. It's well connected. You continuously kept on moving. You've had that signature print. They didn't realize who you actually really were. You are that sacred divinity. And that was birth of creation. Because you knew your potential growth. So you kept on birthing it. You had that divine encounters. And you see the needs of your reality. You know the temple of the Holy Spirit that's within inside of you. You continuously keep on moving with it. You gain your knowledge. You gain your inner standing to overstand. These family and friends, masculines, feminines, need to change their ways, their actions, the way how they deal with you. It's unjustly. They need to go on better. And those who ain't in your own spiritual community, covenant or relationship with you, an outsider, a foreigner, those ones who be in a state without guiding or nurturing or protective. Gosh, shit flies, you want to pitch on you still as well. Protecting and guiding you or nurturing you with their empathy or father issues. They could be or feeling emotionally abandoned and lacking the correct guidance, or even be feeling disconnected from that sense of their spiritual side, the divine love or your divine love. They may need to be able to have come to you because they may be wanting comfort and protection, because they see that you're divinely guided, you've got that divine inspiration. They may need you to provide or supply them with something. They may be coming wanting to provide or supply you with something. They could just take it all as it resonates because they feel a loss. They're feeling vulnerable. They're feeling at a state of hurt and pain. They're feeling emotionally abandoned and lack and disconnected because the sense of your divine love. And they need you because you was a vital support and vital source. You was that source of protection from the heat that they're feeling in the kitchen because it's hot. They need that divine compassion. They need that understanding to overstand because you was that compassion for them. And they need to uphold compassion for you because they're feeling vulnerable now. They see the truth without you within their life. They see the desires and they desire to do good for you now. They see you feel connected. They want to be connected to that higher power because you are that higher power. You was a window of vulnerability because they feel like you just opened that window to enable, because you was no disaster to them. You was a cure. You was that protection. You was that support. And they defiled you with adultery. There was like a child sacrifice with violence and towards you, and it was unjust comprehensions. And that was you showing your faithfulness. You was always faithful to these divine feminines and masculines. These divine feminines, masculine, family members and friends, they need to be able to come and show fair treatment. And they'll be coming to show you this fair treatment because they're getting that warning signs against the adultery and the spiritual destructions that they was doing. They're getting that call to return against the covenants because now they've got to look back. They've got to become and be faithful. They're reflecting on your character, the love, the justice, because they're looking to come and give you justice. And it's no more spiritual revelations they're going with. because they see that promise. They want that lasting inheritance. They see you as that true divine partner because you're expressing your individuality, and they're coming to express their individuality towards you now, because it's that promise of a lasting inheritance. It's a covenant, that agreement, the relationship with these divine feminines and masculines. They chose you, and that was a spiritual belonging. It was commitment and that faithfulness. It's presenting them for the future, and it's beyond the physical. It's external life with you. So they're getting that individuality. They're trying to express this to you because you're awesome. They can see that you're awesome. And it's a trust, that true faith, and it's requiring obedience and trust. So they need to be able to gain this trust, because they're looking at the flower power. They're spending time in flowers, the flower of essence, and it's innocent and personal healing. So they need to get that personal healing to be able to come and give you that complete trust, because they're looking comfort. Because they was being with people who were false, and it was false assurances, and it was contradicting their genuine faith, their religion, the way they're living, the way they think. Now they're looking salvation. This all comes from aligning with you in their actions. They need to look at the superficial appearances that they was putting it out. They need to transform and reflect. They need to reflect with you the values, the way they're acting, the teachings, the contradictional ways of their words, and they encouraged other people and the life of their sin. They can't come in with deceiving words. They can't come with worthless words, not ready. They need to be stable. They need to be still. They need to look, because they was doing perjury and adultery. They was willfully telling and speaking and not speaking the truth. They was misreputations, even under oath, swearing as a witness or an interpreter. They even got other people to state and swear against you, statements against you about material, the matter, and made and it composed and opposed in different forms and spiritual aspects, and the equipment, even the resources that they needed to be able to take tasks. But you're safe. They ain't safe. They need to be able to now gain up all of this, because they had that demonic defiling them, and it was damaging purity of their appearance, and they tried to make access to damage your appearance. All the things that they said, all the things that they did to separate you, just to be more. They wanted to be like you, to be in that good way, really. And they're looking at the things now. They've got to align themselves, because you wasn't playing no games. You don't tell no lies. You ain't got time for that bad energy. They're just listening to the song now. They're not sharing this. And it's trusting. They want to be able to come and trust you, because they see your priority. They're catching and they're seeing a means to you, because they want to be able to come by your side. Really, they want to be able to come towards you, because they're seeing through thick and thin, rain or shine. They know that you're that true righteous one. And they had hypocrisy and corruption. And you're that place of peace, of hope and joy for these divine feminines and masculines. They can see you just channel your knowledge. You're channeling the knowledge. They're getting that knowledge. They're identifying. They're looking and justifying their actions now, because they're channeling their knowledge. They're getting this energy, hot in this backside thing, you see. They're looking at the spiritual devotions and the worldly things that they was doing that was masculine, and their inner corruption that they was dealing with. And they was moving like wolf in sheep's clothing, and snakes. Remember, it's the year of the snakes, and everybody's just shedding. And that's why it's just deaths for the renewals, for the transformations, to make these positive changes, good or bad. And they need to be able to go like Shiloh to that place of peace and that tranquility. They want to come to Shiloh with you, because you're that peace of tranquility. You are that reason. You are that reason for their awakening. You was that one who identified, recognized. You was that peaceable person. You was that one who was sent there really to make them identify and see that sacred connection, because you are that sacred connection to the divine. And it was a covenant, it was agreement that you made with them from past lives. Whether it was family members or friends, they didn't even listen. They didn't listen to the divine. The divine was telling them, showing them, and they was too busy in their ego, because their ego was bruised. They didn't realize how much they had bruised their own ego, because they didn't want to listen. And remember, it was all their thoughts and all their feelings, and these divine feminines, masculines, family members of friends have misplaced. And they've now misplaced the trust in the face due to the consequences of the disobedience, what they was doing, and the disagreements with the covenant that they had. They feeling a loss now. They're reminding themselves, and they're looking at the destructive ways and their unfaithfulness and the judgment and they was doing due to their ego and the sins. And then they sinned over you, because you got that favor. And now they don't know how to do. They're looking their faults. They want protection. They disregarded you when they had you near them. They didn't identify and recognize who you actually really was. They spoke these bad words. They went beyond their own abilities and qualities to be able to do these things. Now they're looking at the challenging circumstances and situations that they've found themselves in, and they're like got the donkey's head on, and they've got that spiritual and physical abandonment from that divine favor. Now they haven't got that divine favor. They haven't got that true trust, and they're looking and they don't even know what to do, because they're praying, and they're praying to the wrong gods, and then they're putting petitions up, and it's personally appealing, and now it's judgment, because judgment falls upon them, because they tried to cast the first stone and it just got back straight on them. And they didn't know your name. They didn't want to walk in them rightful ways of the Most High God. So the judgment, it's on them for the disobedient. Remember, they did adultery, and they lied, and they betrayed, and they put certain things, and they put their own petitions up, and you had your own protection, because they didn't realize you was guided by the Most High God. You supplications, and you've got your inner standing. You overstood, you knew what the target was, and you led them, and they was neglecting because they wanted disobedience, and you thought no, 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 and you gathered your own sticks. You continued moving with your strength within inside of you. You knew your nature, and you gathered your wood. And these divine feminines and masculines are trying to gain theirs. They're trying to get that strength. They want that stability. They're gathering their wood. You see all the wood that they're gathering from all these different people, because you was just strong. And you just stood against them bad mind elements, what they was projecting and putting towards you, not doing it for your highest good. You got your renewal. You went for your renewals. These divine feminines, masculines, family members and friends, now they're trying to ground themselves because they're wanting peace. They're wanting to be able to come, because all the attachments from the enlightenments, from these karmic energies that they had, now they're collecting wood, because they was collecting wood for the rituals. And they was doing sacrificial things and offering burnt offerings to deities and other things. They was trying to do things from bad ways, and you just had your spiritual evolution. You continue smoothing. You establish your own. You maintain your relationship. Those kitchen witches, they couldn't maintain a relationship with these divine feminine masculines as well as friends, because they had false appearances, and they was misleading, and they had leadership because they wanted to be able to take leadership. They thought they was guiding, but you was guiding, and you was transmuting. You transmuted their energies, and they gained that. You had your spiritual knowledge and your spiritual power. You just elevated. You used your intuitions and your knowledge. You identified. You set your heart free and continuously kept on moving in significant actions. And it was for your own belonging, for your new phase, for your spiritual awakening. Now they're gaining their spiritual awakening. They may need to come and tell you, I've had a spiritual awakening. I may need to tell you about a new home or a new beginning or a new family that they've had. So these divine feminines, masculines, family members are coming in. They're coming to tell you, because you've already got this spiritual knowledge. You've already had your discernments. They tried to put you in corruption, dismantle your thoughts, dismantle your feelings. But you was 111, divinely guided. You had your inner standing. They tried to bring stress, conflicts, instability to you. So let's see what's in my bag, because this ain't finished. We need a part 2 of this shit. There's still more to go. That was long. And I've been wondering why, because I haven't been able to get another message. It's because I wasn't delivering this message. So this still needed to be stated. This still needs to be addressed and said. So please only take what resonates, leave the rest for the best. If it troubles you, if it touches you, if it makes you feel a specific way, speak to your chimp. It's a chimp of the paradox. It's about your mind. Identify, recognize your thoughts, your feelings. Be of good cheer. Enable, support, assist. Remember, I am, I feel, I think, I love, I act, I evolve. They try to stop your relationship and finances. So you think you act and revolve, but they tried to stop this. They didn't realize, because they didn't have that spiritual growth. They were spiritually blind due to the lies, and you got that true divine love. And it's 3 forms of first thought. Highest source. Barble's the voice, the word, the thought is potential to do. So you know they had some bad thoughts, some bad words flying through their mind. It hotting on this backside shit, you see. Not fearing bullshit or conflict. So you're not fearing bullshit or conflicts, because it's in the Most High God will not let that come near thy dwelling. Bless, be less you. So bless you is be less than you. They wanted to try and be less, you to be less than them. The good form of bad, those that do that hunt rituals to ensure successful outcomes to harm, to try and attract. You see right through. You help them find peace so they can't cause harm or revenge to anybody who's wrong. Those who hurt, dismantle them or done wrong to others. Or continuous of life. Aura, borderless, manifestations of spirits helping and guide you and protect you on your steps, on your celestial bridge, just lighting up the way for you and others to see, feel and want to gain. So you just guiding souls to peace. You was able to see. Oh shit. So you're just helping, allowing others to manage their arc, both conscious and unconscious minds, balancing both the masculine and feminine energies to make a balanced choice, decision for the highest good of all, showing others how to stay out of that low mind or physical nature, like Ishua. Remember Jacob's ladder, that awakening. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock, strike once, strike twice, now they're all back bets, because that awakening. 23:23. The universe sets you on a mission, powerfully aligning you with people who need support and help and support, respecting each other and trusting each other, their skills, their abilities, holding that faith and working and enabling each other as a whole, a partnership for all. And that's financial goals. If someone is coming thinking, just be mindset, for there is on their own goal or gain. So be careful, because someone may be coming on their own goal or gain. I love you still. I always will till the end of time. You intimidate me. You see right through me. So you see right through them. You intimidate them. She cheating with your man and talking to you in your face. So if someone's cheating with your man and talking to you in your face, it won't surprise me, especially in Nottingham. These people are nasty out here in these streets. Facts and truth, it's hot in here. They want to take account for what is rightfully yours. This could be a karmic, a fake friend, family partner. Oh, they won't take account for what is rightfully yours. This could be a family, a friend, a fake partner. They are looking or wanting a double portion of your skills, gifts and abilities to make and create abundance. So you have discernment with the ones that are coming around you. They want to play all nicely, but butter wouldn't melt. They see your assets. They may come to trick you, blind you, steal for their good. So they've been out here on this shit, trying to trick and blind and steal and tell other people, bring all these little serpent energies, these rats, and gaining strength, making somebody else do it. But they're not even doing it themselves, they're making somebody else come. They've got somebody else out there doing it for them. They're serpent energies. No one can save you now. They better know that. No one can't save them apart from the Most High God. So let your ancestors handle it. They see and hear all. Thank you to all the ancestors. Always peace if balance of power. So it's always peace if you've got that balance of your power. Outgrowing those who denied my goodwill. Following my purpose. So you're just following your purpose. And you just know hate may be transferred into love. Courage be transferred into fear. Hard things may be transferred and rendered soft. Dull things become sharp. And same kind, different degree. You know about these things. These people didn't know. They tried to get develop leader qualities and reason over you. They tried to do mental conflicts towards you, hurt, pain. But the Most High God guides, protects and enables you.